and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. This obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me, maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles are making it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood cell. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fast for our babies to pass through in the day of our king's reign. I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog.
Sometimes your brother wants you to get in the game with him and sell dope with him and destroy his people. Sometimes he wants you to do that. You gotta hate your brother sometimes, man. You gotta hate him sometimes. Sometimes you sisters gotta hate your own sisters, man. You know why? You know why you sisters gotta hate your own sisters sometimes? Because she gonna tell you to leave your husband when you having a bad day. Girl, leave that man. You deserve better, girl. That's what she gonna say. You gotta hate her for that because you're supposed to stay with your man. You're not supposed to leave your man for nothing. I don't give a damn. We go get another woman. It don't matter. You don't leave your man for nothing in the world, and that is in the Bible, man. So you gotta hate your sister sometimes because of that. You gotta hate her because of that sometimes because she's gonna lead you the wrong way. And why you taking advice for her when she ain't got no damn man anyway? You don't need to listen to her no way, man. All right, go ahead and keep reading. Sometimes your brother wants you to get in the game with him and sell dope with him and destroy his people. Sometimes he wants you to do that. You gotta hate your brother sometimes, man. You gotta hate him sometimes. Sometimes you sisters gotta hate your own sisters, man. You know why? You know why you sisters gotta hate your own sisters sometimes? Because she gonna tell you to leave your husband when you having a bad day. Girl, leave that man. You deserve better, girl. That's what she gonna say. You gotta hate her for that because you're supposed to stay with your man. You're not supposed to leave your man for nothing. I don't give a damn. We go get another woman. It don't matter. You don't leave your man for nothing in the world, and that is in the Bible, man. So you gotta hate your sister sometimes because of that. You gotta hate her because of that sometimes because she's gonna lead you the wrong way. And why you taking advice for her when she ain't got no damn man anyway? You don't need to listen to her no way, man. All right, go ahead and keep reading. Sometimes your brother wants you to get in the game with him and sell dope with him and destroy his people. Sometimes he wants you to do that. You gotta hate your brother sometimes, man. You gotta hate him sometimes. Sometimes you sisters gotta hate your own sisters, man. You know why? You know why you sisters gotta hate your own sisters sometimes? Because she gonna tell you to leave your husband when you having a bad day. Girl, leave that man. You deserve better, girl. That's what she gonna say. You gotta hate her for that because you're supposed to stay with your man. You're not supposed to leave your man for nothing. I don't give a damn. We go get another woman. It don't matter. You don't leave your man for nothing in the world, and that is in the Bible, man. So you gotta hate your sister sometimes because of that. You gotta hate her because of that sometimes because she's gonna lead you the wrong way. And why you taking advice for her when she ain't got no damn man anyway? You don't need to listen to her no way, man. All right, go ahead and keep reading. Sometimes your brother wants you to get in the game with him and sell dope with him and destroy his people. Sometimes he wants you to do that. You gotta hate your brother sometimes, man. You gotta hate him sometimes. Sometimes you sisters gotta hate your own sisters, man. You know why? You know why you sisters gotta hate your own sisters sometimes? Because she gonna tell you to leave your husband when you having a bad day. Girl, leave that man. You deserve better, girl. That's what she gonna say. You gotta hate her for that because you're supposed to stay with your man. You're not supposed to leave your man for nothing. I don't give a damn. We go get another woman. It don't matter. You don't leave your man for nothing in the world, and that is in the Bible, man. So you gotta hate your sister sometimes because of that. You gotta hate her because of that sometimes because she's gonna lead you the wrong way. And why you taking advice for her when she ain't got no damn man anyway? You don't need to listen to her no way, man. All right, go ahead and keep reading.
I don't give a love a fuck about what them bitches gotta say. I'm a woman West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't give a love a fuck about what them niggas gotta say. I'm a woman West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't care about what they say. Hey. Fuck with my Akima, fuck with my sister, then I got a problem, I'm never gonna miss you. I got 100 hanging out the AR, I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. I be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's the Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm really no man, that's a God-given mission. I'm really on 10, but I'm stamped in the pistol. I get the order, be glad of this mission. Hebrew Academy graduate, nigga. Training, go through the baddest conditions. I fuck with none but the baddest of bitches. She righteous, submissive, she glad to be with me. Had that thing Putin like Batman, nigga. She know I'm a prophet, she got to be listening. Disrespect, I ain't having that shit till I go make some business from scratch. She bitchin' the different breed of black men. We don't do the bad thing. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, never get up out my face. We standing up straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Those bitches on rank, I told. Line up in these ranks, we soldier. You can take that to the bank, we focus. How many times must we remind you? One body, one way, some records will never take up as a place. When the law with your ain't no up next, it's just us, nigga, that's that on that. All that weak shit, that ain't no threat. Say you won't beat, bitch, with that ain't no sweat. We with all that, we with all that. Lord called a nigga out the world, I responded and called back. Oh Lord, and everything that they stole from us, fuck the shit, we want all that. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. We unaffiliated with them. I cannot fuck around with fake niggas. We taking ground when we in your city. You better have the women, have the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't but the same. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in here with me. In the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking Hispanic, Native American, Indian. We ain't just talking shit, but we living in it. We be everywhere, you can't miss it. And we be precious hell, take a picture. And we special now with the scriptures. Play, we gon' scream from yeah, we some killers. These niggas tripping, they mind blown. Swear business, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't get it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on the slide that I know about this when I send with the Glock with the slide for real. I get the order, you know that it's slaughter. See me and my niggas gon' die for real. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet up by niggas, I'm fed up. I rep UPK. My niggas won't let up. Got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like bitch or whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. Understand me? Like, niggas be out here on some weirdo shit. And to be honest, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Hey. That's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. Oh.
It says separate. We read the scripture where it says, I, the Lord, am holy, who have severed you from other people. When the Lord calls Israelites holy in the Bible, he means that we are set apart from every other race on this earth. That's right. That's what holy means. I don't care how much sugar on top you want to put on it, how much sweet talk and kisses and love and teddy bears you say, you're still wrong. Either way. Now make your point. Yeah, I'm done for a second. Only for a second, but it ain't over.
You don't want to talk. You want to fuss.
Yeah, I do.
You don't want to.
I do want to fuss.
You don't want to.
I do. I want to complain.
You don't want.
I don't want to engage you. I heard your discussion. Your discussion is coming out of every. Listen, man, what you are saying is coming out of every TV set in America. You think it's the first time I heard the doctrine of Christianity? I've been hearing the doctrine of the Christian church my whole life. Don't come here and act like this the first time I've heard this. George Bush says the same thing. The TV, the radio, your doctrine is coming out the walls. I hear it my whole life. And every time I hear it and go in this Bible and try to validate it, I prove you to be a liar. Every time. Now put sugar on that. Listen, now sweet talk that. Sweet talk that. I put it right now. What does holy mean? What does holy mean?
And what that you holy mean?
What does
That's
holy
all you've
mean?
done.
What does holy mean?
You say you
mean?
Believe in this Bible?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I can prove it. I can prove it. Can you?
Then there's one phrase that I'm going to use in this Bible.
Go ahead, use it.
And it says, flee from the man when you perceive wisdom not to be.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Walk away from a fool.
So Christ flee from everybody? Christ didn't battle anybody? You're a damn liar.
Walk away from
Hold on. Give me John 7:7 first. You are a liar and don't understand the Bible.
You're a fool
listen,
because
Christ said to battle. Christ said to battle and to testify of the evil in this world. You see, you Christians, if I talk sweet, right, then I would be godly. No, if I talk sweet, if I was nice, if I kissed you on the damn forehead, then you would believe I was a godly man. You're soft. If you're sure of what you say, and your religion has failed black people. And your religion has failed black people because you are too weak to deal with the problem of the black community. You are too weak and too soft and too lily-livered to deal with the people that are dying. And now it's time for you and your religion to go the hell away and let real men deal with black people. That's John 7:7. John 7:7. John 7:7. Give me Isaiah 58:1 first. I give you 10 scriptures where God said to yell, to raise your voice, to stand up and say something. While black people died, you talk sweet. While black people died, you danced and you sang and you beat tambourines. While black women died of AIDS. While black men died, you danced and you sung and you kissed on the forehead. Who has nothing to say? You're half a woman already. And you and that religion of yours need to go into the gay house with the rest of the sodomites. And you see this. Isaiah 58:1. Your whole religion is garbage. Listen, the whole thing is disgusting and sodomite to show you how stupid you are. You've assumed I'm a Christian. You haven't even asked. You made an assumption. And your assumption is not correct. You believe in God? And you stand there and you swear from God. Don't you want to hear it? Don't you want to hear it? And you're like an empty body. Making no sense. The Bible says to cry aloud. Read. Cry aloud. When you say cry aloud, read again. You need to cry aloud. Keep going. Keep going. Wait a minute. But you don't. What do you say? Cry aloud. You don't talk. What does cry aloud mean? You don't consider. You don't engage. And you're scared. The only thing you do not engage in your sickness. Listen, my people have been engaged in your sickness for 400 years. There's a church on every corner. And our people died. There's a band and a tambourine in every black man's hand throughout the country, and my people still died. Let's give them something they never heard. Let's read the Bible. Let's give them something you don't read. Read. Run aloud. Keep going. Stand up. The Bible says not to stand. I don't give a damn how nice and sweet you talk. And can we have an intellectual conversation? Listen, how the hell? How do you talk intellect with a man who hates God? Two sides. I can't talk intellect with a man that hates God. Two sides. A man that only loves himself. You're so sure. Are you Christian? There ain't no two sides. That you can. There is no two sides. There has to be with two men talk. Of course there are. You know why? Two men talk. And that's why you just sucker to the white man your whole life. If you're sure of your sucker to every reason your conversation. I'm not engaging you. I want your religion to die. I want to destroy your religion. I don't want to engage you. I want your religion to die. Engage you. And show my people their transgression. Read again. Lift up my voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression. That's the Bible. The Bible says to lift up the voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgressions. The Bible don't say, well, hear their viewpoints. Listen to their intellect. Maybe their point of view is shut up. That Christian garbage, man. You sound like somebody's grandmama. And you black men done became a bunch of damn grandmamas. Sitting up in that church, clapping your hands and shaking your hips, while everybody in the black community starved to death. About 250,000 black women are dying with AIDS. You want to have an intellectual dialogue and kiss and love. You black men done been turned to a bunch of damn grandmamas sitting up in that church. You half a faggot already, waiting on the other half to turn. All you Christians. I ain't never seen a Christian man that wasn't half a faggot already. And if you think you the one, you a liar. You half a faggot too.
I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. Hey, play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. Tell me we don't live in hell. My brother doing 55 in that cell. Nigga claiming he your round here spin shell. Same nigga you put on to hit the stand and tell. How the fuck you turn your back on a nigga that love you? Treat your kids like my kids, treat you like a brother. I told my dog, let's leave the streets to serve the most high. He said, fuck that shit, he trying to sell another pie. His daddy killed him, put him in the trunk, set him on fire. His wife was pregnant, he ain't never get to see his child. Had me thinking to myself, what happened if I die? Look my babies in the eyes, I gotta stay alive. I put my ego on the shelf and my pride to the side. I'm with some niggas who gon' step and got God on their side. Got in the ISUPK, they keep asking me why. As I do the work of the Lord, I gotta stay alive. Face the east, pray alive. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
You ever pump a pack with a snake by your side? Yes, I see a man reach out to God before he died. Yes, I did. I know the Lord forgive us for these sins, but I'm starting to think the kingdom of heaven is for these kids. I told my daughter, there's one man in your bed, I won't stand for less. For my son, I hit your head on that fragile legs. I lost some niggas to that dope, I lost niggas to the feds. Remember Jono tried to stick me for that cheese on that bread, yeah, I was thugging with Lucky, that nigga left me for dead. Endured to the end, cause I listened to what was said. Mother told me she loved me when she was sick up in the bed. I was running them streets, but the truth made me a man. Shit, I don't really speak, cause she'll never understand. That's why I ain't even tell her about these voices in my head. I'm still trying to manage my anger like Uncle Craig.
I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
All right, shalom, shalom. Can I be heard? Can I be heard?
Got a call, sir. Hear you loud and clear, sir.
Most High in Christ, Most High in Christ. All right, do y'all let me see. Do y'all got let me see a chat. All right, Most High in Christ. Anybody check? Anybody else have any questions? All right, just had to check on that real quick. Most High in Christ. All right. So today we're doing a class on the history, the Israelites in Africa, right? So, all right. So we always told we were Africans, right? I'm sure everybody is always saying, because, you know, it seems like, you know, the white man, they've told us so many times that, you know, we're African, right? Y'all are dark. Y'all are all black people. So they say y'all are all black. So they say you are all Africans because of a similar skin tone. But you can go to everywhere. Everywhere has people the same skin tone as us. You can go into Asia. You got countries in Asia that's very dark skinned. You can go to the Indians, you know, saying that the Indians with the dot, not the one with the feathers. You can go to them. They got, I mean, I see some people, they was pitch black over there, right? You can go to all these different places. Everybody has dark-skinned people, or what they would call or term melanated people. But they don't understand that there was a persecution of the Jews that were here. So here's the thing. Like, we're gonna go into the Spain Inquisition a little bit. We're gonna go into the Portugal. All right. To give a quick overview, some things that happen is I forget the ruler, the king. It's gonna be his name. Is gonna be when we go through everything. When we go through that, you'll see that they were expelling Jews from Spain. Then he started expelling them. Some went to Portugal, and then they started expelling them from there. Then they started going and setting up in different places in Africa. Now, of course, there was the white Jewish man, and of course there was the actual black, us being Jews, right? So the tough part in history is trying to determine which one is which. You understand? Because during this time they didn't have what you would call they didn't look at your color so much. You understand? Your color wasn't a factor like that. They would just say, "Oh, you look like them people over there. You look like so and so." That was kind of like the thing, but it wasn't this black and white thing until maybe like the 1600s during the Renaissance era. All right, and that's when all of that stuff started coming about. Let's see here. All right, so let's get into this. All right. So from Iberia is that little piece of land from I think Spain and Portugal was on. They call it the Iberian Peninsula area. So it's telling about the expulsion, the refuge, the coercion, slavery, and memory after Spain and Portugal. So I'll have all the rest of the slides so you can start reading. Who's that, Radha? What's going on, priest? Who's you, Twab?
Double call, sir. To what? Good to go, sir.
Most High Craig. All right. So let's see here why this history matters, because it's talking about, it's not one story but a chain. It's a religious expulsion in Iberia, the refuge and coercion in Portugal, resettlement in Africa, and the growth of the Atlantic world shaped by slavery. So even when you go do a lot of research, if we try to look up the slavery, you got to look at when the Jews got sent to Africa. You can't see when you try to look. Here's what makes some of the stuff hard. You can't look and say, well, what about the Jews that came here from America? They're going to automatically assume as the white people. You have to go and say, what about the Jews that were persecuted that end up going to Africa? You got to look at that first. Find out where those areas they went in, and then say, well, what about this? Then you got to put a whole nother search in to say, what about the slaves that were taken from that area to go to America? Then that's how you kind of like trace the dots a little bit, because you can't just say, what about those people that became slaves? Because they're going to just say, oh no, that they're going to say that's a myth. Because you know who runs everything, right? All right, let's go here. Persecution. Spain's 1492 decree shattered one of Europe's oldest Jewish worlds and forced families into impossible choices. The movement. Many refugees first ran to Portugal, while others crossed into North Africa and rebuilt life among older Jewish communities. At the same moment, Portuguese Atlantic expansion tied forced migration to colonial labor systems and African enslavement. So let's see here. Let me do this. Let me do this real quick. All right, Radha, check your phone.
Oh, God.
I'll try to keep you a couple here. All right, let's go to it. Read that for me. You got it? Radar? You drop out?
Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you.
Okay. It won't let me back out of the StreamYard. If I back out the StreamYard to pull it up, it's gonna kick me out.
Okay. You got another way I can send it to you? You got something else I can send it to you on?
Let me see.
You got a tablet, maybe I can email it to you?
Yeah, cover. Let me get it pulled up real quick. It's radaiwalam@gmail.com. Let me get it pulled up.
See, we had that problem. You had an iPhone, man.
I know, that's what I heard, man. I would have no issues with it, huh?
Yeah, no issues in life. Every single issue you have in life will be resolved if you had an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? But we can't get brothers to come, they come halfway in the truth. They don't want to come all the way in the truth. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that, sir.
I can only lead a horse to water. Ain't that what it said?
Yeah, that's what it say.
All right, what's your email?
radaiwalam@gmail.com.
We ain't even listening to you over there, Mama. So we ain't even pay you no attention. Mine don't. I don't know what you're talking about. My Android ran out of power quick. All right, I should be able to pull it up on the thing in a second. You get it?
Oh, okay.
You get the email chat?
It's coming through right now.
All right, Kai. I sent you a couple, so.
Okay, cool. I got the one where it says why this history matters.
Hold on. Let me see if that's the one. Trying to say you a couple so you can stay ahead.
Okay, cool.
Let me see. Read Iberian Jewry before 1492.
Let me see. That might be this one. Okay, cool. I got it. All right. It says Iberian Jewry before 1492. What existed? A deep-rooted world. Jewish life in Iberia stretched back for centuries and developed under changing Muslim and Christian rule. These communities were embedded in urban, legal, commercial, and scholarly life. By the late medieval period, Jews in Iberia were not marginal footnotes. They were part of the region's learned culture, economic networks, and civic landscape. What changed? A world under strain. That long history did not guarantee security. Anti-Jewish hostility sharpened over time, and the social position of Jews became more precarious as religious conformity gained political force. The expulsion of 1492, therefore, did not remove outsiders. It tore apart an old society that had already been pushed into danger.
Okay. So you see here, in Spain, they were making everybody into a Christian. One of the people that they made it to a Christian, because this time, I'm trying to get I'm doing more research. I want to get more about what was going on because it's so hard to really determine the cause of everything. But it was just because they said they were trying to make everybody Christian and they were trying to make one religion. That's part of it. But I think if I know anything about Jewish people, I'm sure they were doing some stuff. If I just know better, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure they were doing something. So in this case, what I think they were doing was I think they were possibly bankrupting the whole economy. And I've seen different times of this. I've seen it in different areas. And then during this time, they was just trying to get rid of all Jews. If you didn't convert to being a Christian, they were getting rid of you. Christopher Columbus is reported that that it's a good possibility he was a Jewish person, right? Not a Jew, Jewish. Because y'all remember the Khazars, right? Remember the Khazars? All right. The Khazars, they also were in, Eastern Europe, right? We had the Khazarian Empire. They ended up just coming into Rome when their empire fell. A lot of them came into Rome. Not all of them, but a good amount of them came into Rome, okay? So and then some of them went, when they started expelling them, some of them went back over there. It was kind of like people was going all, which every different way. They were going different ways. But the black Jews, the real Jews, went into Africa. You understand? Some were taken up as slaves that didn't conform. They ended up getting them. And then they became the first people to start coming over to America as slaves. Get that? So some of those first black people, they were coming under the slaves because what they were doing, especially a lot of the Jewish people were behind it because they wanted, they were trying to make us their slaves as well. So like I said, Christopher Columbus, when he changed his name, because it's showing, because you can't find any, at least I couldn't find, you couldn't find his family before him. So they changed, there was a lot of people that changed their name to be more of a, of those people. So you can't really find any other Crystal, any of the Colognes, because his name isn't Columbus, it's Cologne, right? You can't find anybody else of that. You can't really find anybody else in his name. Like they can't find where he descends from. You never heard about his parents, that type of thing, right? So it's a strong likelihood that he was Jewish that converted to being, Catholic, but he still was being, Jewish from then. And those Jewish people, when they lost their kingdom in Khazaria, a lot of them, they started going to different places and setting up different, like, this is really where the mob and the mafia came from. You understand what I'm saying? They made the mob and the mafia. So they would go to different parts of different countries and they would start doing things to basically gain power, in other words, and make everybody subject to them. Just long story short, that's what they were trying to do. And then so what they were doing is they just say, everybody either become Christian or y'all get the hell out. So they started coming after even us that weren't doing that mess. So we ended up having to flee. We fled to Portugal. Then we fled to America. So it's like not America, Africa. And then there was sometimes the Portuguese. They captured us, and they made us slaves up under them in different parts of Africa. Then they brought us over here. So it's different, but we're gonna get into a lot more detail of that. All right, Mawasar should be good in this. I should be good in a second to try to be able to send it to you. Okay. So be ready. It's gonna come up there in a second. So, but just to try to give you like a quick synopsis, what's the next slide you got? What's the next one I sent you, Radha?
I've got why this history matters, and I've got pressure builds before expulsion.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to that one.
Okay, cool. Let me blow it up. All right, it says pressure builds before expulsion. 1391, massacres and forced conversions. They say anti-Jewish attacks in 1391 shattered communities across Iberia and pushed many survivors into conversion, creating long-term instability inside both Jewish and converso life. 1478, Inquisition and suspicion. The Spanish Inquisition intensified scrutiny of converts, while royal authorities increasingly argued that visible Jewish communities endangered Christian orthodoxy. 1492. By the time the Alhambra decree arrived, the state had fused religion, and political power into, into a program that treated expulsion as a solution to a manufactured problem.
There you go.
The takeaway, the expulsion was the culmination of escalating pressure, not a sudden break with an otherwise peaceful order.
Mm-hmm. So you see this, there was massacres, anti-Jewish attacks, 1391. Were you able to bring it up, Mosar? Go to the import and you should see slides, something like that. Yeah. Go to my computer. Go to computer. Go to the, I think you should say download, something like that. It should be from Iberia to Africa. No, it shouldn't say video. It should say, it should say from Iberia to Africa. Got it? All right. All right. Do you have the next slide? It says Spain expels its Jews. You got that one, Radha?
The which one?
Spain expels its Jews. You got that one?
Spain expels from Jews. Lie, sir. I don't have that one. I just only got 3 of them.
All right. All right, it's coming now.
Okay, go.
No. All right, start reading that, Radha.
Did you send it yet already, sir?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Okay, I got it. Spain expels its Jews. 1492. The crown makes exile law. In 1492, Ferdinand and Isabella ordered the Jews of Spain to leave unless they accepted baptism. The decree framed expulsion as a remedy for alleged religious danger, especially the claim that Jews' influence converted Christians to remain tied to Judaism. Covert ergo. For Jewish families, the choice was brutal. Accept conversion and remain, or leave behind homes, property, family institutions, and often parts of family life. Even departure itself was dangerous, expensive, and uncertain. The result was a mass rupture. Some fled to Portugal, some crossed into North Africa, and others moved deeper into the Mediterranean world, carrying memory as one of the few possessions the decree could not seize. The takeaway, the expulsion of 1492, was the decisive break that turned Spanish Jewish history into a diaspora story, stretching across Portugal, North Africa, and the wider Mediterranean.
Trying to get it set up on there. Okay, so you see, so the choice is, did somebody try the door? So like somebody at the door. But so you see here, they wanted the Jews to leave Spain. So unless they accepted the baptism and become Christian, right? The decree framed expulsion as a remedy for alleged religious danger, especially the claim that Jews. What's going on? All right. You gonna move mine? All right. It's the one with the van key with the more buttons on it. The key with one of them got less buttons, one of them got more. Okay, all right, the water. So basically, so they were put into a pretty much lose-lose situation. You know, you hear they're thinking, you know, they're trying to make everything Christian right now, right? So now they're being forced to leave and move on over to either move, you know, go from, you know, they leave them, you know, you gotta think you leaving from where you live, you leaving your house, right? You're not just going somewhere, you're not just going down the street, you're not just going to another city, you're going to a whole different country. So they didn't want to leave. Some people decided they're gonna just, you know, they call crypto Jews, which they would look like they're Christian, but then they would be doing everything behind the scenes as being, you know, practicing their own heritage, right? So it was a mass rupture. Some fled to Portugal, some crossed to North Africa, and others moved deeper into Mediterranean world, carrying memory of the few possessions the creator cannot seize. So it was basically like everybody just dispersed. So everybody went to where they could kind of hide in between everywhere. The black people, because there was a large, like in Morocco, there was a black of actual like us, like a community set up around Morocco area. And then too, you know, this is like as we're starting to move into the west coast of Africa. All right. Send you this next one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Matter of fact, I might just send you the whole slide in case we get it up on here today. For some reason, the computer don't want to work. I may just send you the whole. Let me just send you the whole slide.
Oh,
So I gotta just take pictures of it. All right. All right, I just sent you the whole slide. You can start reading the next one though. Portugal becomes I'm sorry, main routes after 1492. I'm sorry.
Which one you want me to read?
Main routes after
Main route. Okay.
1492.
Cool. I see it.
There you
Let
go.
me blow it up on my spot. It says main routes after 1492. Oh, main routes after 1492. Portugal first. For many families, the nearest escape route led across the border into Portugal. It was close, accessible, and seemed to offer immediate relief from Spain's decree. Number two, North Africa nearby. Others crossed the Mediterranean into North Africa, especially Morocco, where long established Jewish communities already existed. Number three, wider diaspora. Additional routes carried exiles toward the Italian states, the Ottoman world, and other Mediterranean ports. The diaspora spread outward in overlapping waves rather than one fixed migration line.
Mm-hmm. So it's telling about all the different, you know, people start going to different locations and all of that. That's where a lot of the Mediterranean, you start seeing some of the people that's saying that they're Jews and they're over in that area. That's where a lot of them, you know, starts to be the, you know, diaspora over there. But that doesn't mean that they're us, because like I told you before, the Khazars to some degree was there. You had other people that converted over to being Jews. You had a lot of conversos. You had the Sephardic Jews. Sometimes they considered us Sephardic as well at different times. But you had the Sephardic Jews, which you can look and think in the Book of Kings, you'll see Sephardim, and that would be where a lot of those people were, and they were in the area as well. You understand? But we know we came from through the Africa part. So that's what I mean. You got to try to kind of go to where we went to, so you just try to see where we actually came from. You understand? So, all right, let's go to Portugal becomes a refuge.
Oh, okay. Portugal becomes a refuge. Why Portugal mattered. In the immediate aftermath of 1492, Portugal looked like the most practical destination for many Jews fleeing Spain. It was close, accessible, and already tied to Iberian trade and family networks.
So this was like a sanctuary to go to. They're like, okay, cool, we can get out of here, we can go here, we can still live. You know, we're not far. It's not that far away. We can still live a decent life compared to what we used to, right? So they went over to Portugal. And, you know, speaking Spain and Portuguese is very similar languages. All right, go ahead.
That made Portugal less a final destination than an emergency corridor. Families crossed over, hoping to preserve community, property, and continuity after the shock of expulsion. The refuge, however, was never stable. It existed inside a political landscape where royal policy could shift quickly, turning short-term shelter into another crisis.
There you go. Huh? You get to take it off right now. All right. Now go to the next one. Portugal reverses course. It should be in the slides I sent you.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm scrolling down to the next one. Which one was it that you wanted me to read from?
Policy should say policy reversal, and Portugal reverses course.
Okay. Read the one that says Portugal reverses course.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh, dang, hold on. Pull it back up. Okay, Portugal reverses course.
There you go.
Refuge gave way to pressure. Portugal had first absorbed many Jews fleeing Spain, but dynastic politics and the demand for religious conformity reversed that policy with stunning speed. This is the turning point that transforms the story from exile alone into a history of coerced identity.
There you go. And you see the expulsion and forced conversion are not the same. Some families managed to leave, others became outward Christians under compulsion, creating a later world of new Christians and crypto Jewish survival. So a lot of people, they became the new Christians. So you'll see, if you look up in history, you'll see new Christians. A lot of those were black people that became new Christians. You understand? So, like I said, we were deeply and heavily involved in Europe before we ended up. A lot of us fled to Africa. They made a lot of us slaves in Europe. Because remember what's going on. What's going on in 1496? What happened already? Do y'all remember?
1496.
Do you know, Verdun? What's happening during this time? Do you know?
Lies, sir.
Come on now. I already talked about them. Nobody know? What's going on in 1490 in this time? Not the exact year, but roughly around that same time.
So like I said,
All right, go ahead, Mama Son. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. We're done.
so it was when Christopher Columbus was sailing.
There you
That
go. Yeah, Azar got it. Christopher Columbus, yep. 1492, what it say? Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? So what's happening this time? They know about America now, right? What are they doing? They taking slaves back and forth.
They're taking so-called Native American Indians from here.
They're taking them over there, right? Making them slaves, right? So at this time they learn about the land. What you think that's happening to all these people that that are trying to be secretly converted or trying to secretly not convert? You know what I'm saying? What do you think happened to them? I'll wait. What y'all think happened? Go ahead.
They're being tortured and forced to accept.
Yeah, they were. But what you think? What you think they did with them? Brought them behind over here.
Come.
Yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do with the? Yeah, there you go. What would you do with people they not converting to what you want them to do? Make them a slave, right? Brought them over here. That's why you didn't see a whole lot of like all of the slaveries before was going from Europe back and forth to Americas. It didn't start going into Africa until about the 1600s. All right. That's a little part that people don't know. People don't know about it. But the slavery from Africa didn't come till later on. It wasn't in the beginning. It wasn't in like right at 1492. I mean, it was for the Native Americans. They made them slaves right away. But I'm saying, but like bringing like on the slave ships like that from Africa, it didn't start to about the 1600s. In the 1500s, it was from Europe to America for the most part, at least. I'm not saying it was none. I'm just saying that was the majority. And as people were going at, a lot of people, they were trying to flee from Europe, going into Africa. And what they was doing in Africa is like, we don't want you here either. We gonna sell your money. We don't want you here either. They didn't think we was the same people. They know we're not the same people. All right.
Because there's a movie that came out back in the 90s. I think it was called Commanders, or either it was called Commanders or 1492, but it was called Conquest of Paradise.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
And I don't remember.
And I was about to say, even in that movie, you watch the first 5 minutes. The funny thing is, he's talking about Ezra. Ezra said his land over there. You go watch the first couple minutes of it. He'll say it. Ezra said his land over here. If you go over yonder, there's some land. Because they knew about this land because the Jews already knew about this. Especially the black Jews, the real Jews. They knew our brother. We knew our brothers was over here.
Right.
So, and just like over time, people started looking like, okay, it might be something going on over here. So that whole theory of trying to make a route to go back to Asia, that would, you can have more than one reason to do something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can have more than one reason to do something. It doesn't have to be the same. They knew it was something over here, and they also wanted to have a route to Asia that wasn't going through that direction. They wanted to be able to go to China because it's a long route. They figured they could just go around. They can go right over to China. So they're like, okay, cool. But then they found the land over here. They may have not known the shape of the land, but they knew it was land over here. Right. They might have not known that they couldn't cross into, from there. Because this before the Panama Canal. Right. They might have not known that they couldn't cross into Asia from there, but they knew that, they either gonna run into China or they're gonna run into some other land. They know that. And that's when they land on Hispaniola. Or I think what's it called, the Dominican Republic. So all right.
Even in the movie, like when you watch some of the previews, they show them coming off the ship. You know, they shoot them. That's why it's called Conquest of Paradise.
Oh yeah, it was killing. And then even the dude they brought with them, who they bring with them, Luis de Torres. What was he?
What?
Yes, but what else was he? What was his job?
Oh, to knock out the land.
No. His job was to be an interpreter. He spoke Hebrew.
Oh, wow.
Luis de Torres spoke Hebrew. All right. Yep, Luis de Torres. All right, go to the next slide for me.
Okay. Forced conversion changes the picture. Expulsion. Expulsion means removal from a territory. Families leave, lose property, and try to rebuild elsewhere. That is the clearest frame for Spain in 1492 and for many refuge movements into Portugal and North Africa. The defining feature is departure. Number 2, forced conversion. Forced conversion means remaining under political power while being compelled to accept baptism. In Portugal, many Jews were prevented from leaving and were instead absorbed into Christian society by coercion. The defining feature is religious identity imposed from above. Number 3, crypto-Jewish survival. Crypto-Jewish survival describes what some families tried to do afterwards, live outwardly as Christians while quietly preserving fragments of Jewish belief, ritual, or memory across generations. The defining feature is hidden continuity under under danger. Why this matters. When the story moves into Africa, some people arrive as refugees, some as coerced converts, and some, like the children sent to Sao Tome through direct deportation, those are related histories, but not the same history.
We're going to get into some of that too. Go to that next slide.
Kawaka. North Africa receives exiles. Why North America mattered. It was close. I'll say again, sir.
You said North America, North Africa.
Oh, Salaki. Why North Africa mattered. It was close to Iberia, reachable by sea, and already tied into Mediterranean trade. For refugees leaving under pressure, proximity could mean survival. North Africa was therefore not a distant afterlife of exile, but one of its earliest and most practical destinations.
Because remember, you know who came from the same area, like that top part of Africa? I know, right? Come on, man. Come on, what's his name? Septimius Africanus? I believe it was. He came from that north part of Africa, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Septimius Africanus. Not Septimius. What's that dude name? Septimius.
Africanus?
No, that's the white dude.
Okay.
It's somebody Septimius Severus. The black ruler of Rome. Remember him? You know what I'm talking about, right? We're done?
Yeah, Kawaka, Septimius Severus.
Septimius Severus. He was a black ruler of Rome at one point, and this was like during the 100 or the first or second century, something like that. That time frame. He was the ruler. He came from that same, like that was old Jewish, you know, places that they had already, been in. He came from that same place. All right, that same area, sort of, kind of. All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay. What migrants what migrants found there? Exiles did not arrive in empty territory. They entered cities and ports where Jewish communities had deep local histories, especially in Morocco and elsewhere across the region. This made settlement possible, even if adaptation remained difficult and uneven. Why these commodities endured? North African settlements became places where prayer, language, legal traditions, family memory, and commercial networks could be carried forward after the break in Iberia.
Mm-hmm.
The next slide is Morocco, old and new communities.
There
An
you go.
older Jewish Morocco already existed. It says the Jewish communities in Morocco long predated the expulsions from Spain and Portugal. They were part of the country's urban, commercial, and religious landscape before 1492. That older rooted population is often described as the Toshavim, meaning the established local Jewish inhabitants who carry their own traditions and communal authority. After 1492, Iberian arrivals reshaped the picture. They say the expelled Jews from Iberia, often called the Megorashim, brought new legal traditions, languages, family networks, and commercial ties into Moroccan Jewish life. The result was not replacement, but fusion, tension, adaptation, and eventual cultural transformation. Morocco became one of the strongest centers of Sephardic continuity in Africa.
And at this point, we would call, like it would call them the Sephardic. So there's sometimes we were mixed in with the Sephardic because we were colored, so they were, they would name everybody something. So that's just to kind of give you like, different type, because like how do I put it too? Like if how do I put it? You know how like when we were unable to travel as much, like you would have more darker skinned brothers that may have been like in the South because they were outside more and they kind of stayed and they were better suited for like to being in the dark. I mean in the sun. And you might have had the lighter skinned brothers in certain areas like that. They were better in the lighter places like you have certain like certain like you might have not known this, but like if you have like people that if they didn't travel as much, everybody in a certain area will look a certain way, right? Like Georgians will look like Georgians, Floridians will look like Floridians. But the difference is we have so many people that come in and out. That's why it doesn't stay the same way, right? So at these times, you had different people, and travel wasn't as abundant as it is today. So you would have certain ones that look certain ways. So possibly, like I'm just throwing out real world examples. So like you might have you have brothers that they all come from a long line of light skinned people, right? Light skinned brothers, right? Those light skinned brothers could be from this part. You know what I'm saying? And there were, like I said, there were different exposures. This just the Spain one. We're not talking about what happened in England, Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland. All these other places had similar things the same way. And at these times, you might have had a different, different historical context to kind of show you the whole thing. So, but this just telling you about this particular group of Jews that went down into Africa, right? And like I said, these might have been, I think a lot of these brothers, they did a lot of, they became like a lot of the sugar planters, if I'm not mistaken. So That's what I think they became. All right, because people think that the slave trade was like they were just grabbing people. No, like you would go to certain parts of Africa where certain trade or certain slave traders were. The Africans, they would say, okay, I'm gonna go down to Nigeria. I'm just give you the town that what they call it now. Let's go to Nigeria and let's go to Benin. Like, because we need 5 slaves for, it'd be more numbers. We'll say we need 5 slaves of that's good rice planters. And we need 10 people that could do, that could grow corn or whatever. That's good growers of corn. So we gonna go and hit some of these places. It's just like how they do freight today. They'll make an order for something. You get that order. That order, you got to bring it back. You got paperwork and everything. I got this amount of slaves for these different people. Then you go off board them on a ship, and then you will go from there, and you will go and take whatever crops that they want, that the people order from Europe. They made an order for that stuff in Europe, and they'll go bring that stuff there. So that's how the trade went. Just like how it does today. They'll go, okay, well, I got some stuff here. Let me go take that to Europe. Europe, they'll go get like guns and I think like ivory or something like that. And they'll go take that to the Africans, trade that to the Africans for the slaves. Then they'll come back and they'll offload, the stuff they got. They'll offload the slaves, offload the ivory or whatever else they got, and they made money on each trip. And a lot of these were ran by the Jewish people. That's what they don't want to tell you, because even though they were persecuting Jewish people, there still were Jewish people in power. And a lot of them, they went to other countries that they had good, they got good, they got power in. And then as certain things like evened out, they would still go in and do all of the slavery, because the Jewish people, they knew that the black Jews was in Africa because they got expelled too. So they knew, well, we can't go to Africa, we white. We can't go to Africa, right? So we gonna stay over here in Europe. So they just went over there to those Jewish people right? So that's how these things started to go. All right, let's keep on going. What else you got?
Other African destinations. Algeria. Jewish settlement in Algeria also absorbed Iberian exiles, especially in port cities connected to wider Mediterranean commerce. These newcomers joined older Jewish populations rather than founding communities from nothing, adding Iberian legal and cultural influence to existing local life. Egypt. Egypt formed another destination within the wider post-1492 Sephardic world. Its commercial and scholarly links made it part of the same geography of dispersal and rebuilding. For exiles, Egypt represented not just refuge, but insertion into a broader Eastern Mediterranean network where displaced communities could reassemble. Coastal connections. The diaspora also touched connected coastal spaces through trade, kinship, and later Atlantic links, reminding us that migration did not end at one border or one port. African destinations were therefore part of an interlocked web of movement, memory, and adaptation stretching well beyond a single kingdom.
Yeah, so it just started being spread all everywhere. I think we can skip the next slide. Let me see. It's just saying what exiles carry with them. They took names, losses, stories. Their memory. They practiced, synagogue life, legal traditions, dietary customs, marriage patterns, all of that. And language, they carry speech habits, commercial knowledge, kinship links, and ability to rebuild trust across distance. All right, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. What does it say? I'm on what we can and cannot say. So it's saying here, North Africa was a real zone. It's a documented route for the real zone of resettlement, where we can say clearly that Jews expelled from Spain, later pressured in Portugal, moved into North Africa, and rebuilt life among other older Jewish communities. San Tomé involved forced deportation. So, what was this trying to say? Refugees were not identical with imperial rulers. So, it says you can't collapse all Jews and the colonizers. Like I said, you try to put up stuff. They always try to break, try to save somebody. But of course, because we were some of those Jews, the refugees. We were not. We of course wouldn't be identical imperial rulers. So let's see here. Let's go to Portugal turns into the Atlantic. So you got 2 or 3 slides down.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Portugal turns to the Atlantic. Is that the one you want, sir?
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Portugal turns to the Atlantic. 2 histories overlap. Late 15th century, Portugal tightened religious control at home while expanding imperial reach abroad. These distinct processes unfolded together. Africans become laboratories. Atlantic islands and
It says
African stations.
African islands become laboratories.
African islands become laboratories. Okay. Atlantic islands and African stations let Portugal test settlement, labor control, and long-distance trade. Sao Tome was one such consequential space.
Dang. So the Africans helping them out, right? Right? That's what they do, helping them out. So they say we're gonna let you test out all this stuff. So the oppressor, he got to test out his oppression first. Make sure that it applies. He got to test it out first.
That's right.
Right? And Sao Tome was the place, or another they call it San Thomas, but it was called Sao Tome. It's an island off the west coast of Africa. Right? Go ahead. Why this matters?
Why this matters for the deck. The Atlantic turned links Iberian persecution to an imperial world of plantations, coerced labor, and resistance under Portuguese rule.
Yep. Next slide, go to San Tome enters the story.
Sao Tome enters the story. Sao Tome and Principe lie in the Gulf of Guinea off the west central African coast. In the 15th and 16th centuries, that position gave Portugal a strategic island base tied to African trade routes and Atlantic navigation. The islands became valuable because they could support settlement, plantation agriculture, shipping, and the circulation of people under Portuguese control. Sao Tome was not just remote territory, it was an imperial workshop.
Yeah, nice. So they can support settlement, plantation agriculture, shipping, and the circulation of people under Portuguese control. So they made this like a New York. New York is an island, right? Y'all know that?
Oh God.
It's an island, right? So they made it like New York. They like to use islands to do all of the shipping to and from, right? So that's just how white people are. They like to use islands for that. And like to set you up there You know, it's harder to get back without having a ship. You know, all of that type of stuff. So, go ahead.
Kadawaka. This is where the Dex strands begin to meet. Iberian persecution, Portuguese overseas expansion, the deportation of Jewish children, and the making of an enslaved plantation world all touch this land, Salaki, all touch this island story.
There you go. Now we're getting into that. So now you're starting to see Jews were brought into Africa. Like I said, this is just the ones coming from Spain and Portugal. That's not about the rest of Europe, the UK, London, Great Britain, whatever they want to call themselves. You know, Ireland. There was a different name at that time. I forget the name of it. But Ireland. That's where a lot of our Jamaican brothers came from, Ireland. So that's why they got. If you notice, they got that same accent. It's the same way that they talk. If you ever paid attention to it, that same Irish accent is very similar to how Jamaicans talk, right? So with that being said, that's where that. Like I said, this is just one. I'll see if I can find some more. We can talk about it, but this is just one of them. All right, there were other times we were brought into other parts of Africa, or we fled there because, like I said, we were settled all among there, especially over the Niger River. The Niger River is key to where they brought a lot of slaves. Remember, it was more than one. Like I said, this is really just like one country that they kind of in Africa they was dealing with. They had countries all over that that was helping, like Nigeria, Benin, that's what they call now, Liberia, bunch of different countries that was helping out. All right, go ahead. Do a Jewish children sent to Sao Tome?
Jewish children sent to Sao Tome. Children were removed as policy. It say the Portuguese crown did not treat these children as ordinary migrants. Correct, they were taken from Jewish families, sent across the sea.
Want the class, sir? Huh? Run up here, shit. If I may, please welcome the living legend, Officer 5,000 Hazard from New York. What's going on, sir?
Legends about that, man.
Living one.
Y'all about to sir.
Hey, what's going on?
We're just talking about that African, when like the kind of like the Spanish Inquisition when they came into Africa.
Yeah.
Talking about like Portugal. I know you know a little bit about the Ireland part, about the Jamaican brothers and all of that, right? Okay, we're from Ireland. You can speak on that too if you want to. I'll just breezed over it a little bit.
Okay, yeah. If we don't get a book here, I wouldn't touch it.
What book is that?
That's the Negro Question Part 5.
I got it at the house. Yeah. I got it at the house. I don't have it here.
Okay, then we got Babylon Timbuktu. I mean, I know that the is mic on?
It's this one right here. This one. They can hear you. It's pretty good.
All right.
Can y'all hear him good? Can you hear him good, Rada?
Yeah, cut. I can hear him.
I do know that the information that the oppressor pushes the most is that we all just only came from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So when I know people at camp think that, I just work on that information alone. You know what I mean? Unless it's brought up. If it's brought up, and some cats know that they were Black Europeans, and the question is where they went. You see what I'm saying? So when that comes up, then I bring that up. You see what I'm saying? But in case anybody has any question on it, one of the main things about it is that the slave masters were all, like in America and the Caribbean, they were like English, right? And the English used to have a race war with the people from Scotland and Ireland and Wales. You see what I'm saying? Scotland, Ireland, and Wales spoke one language, and then the Englishmen had, their own names, rather. All right? So what a lot of brothers eventually learn to do is that they'll see whether their last name is English or Scottish Irish. If your last name was Scottish Irish, then the white man took your last name. You see what I'm saying? If your last name was English, then he gave you his last name. You see what I'm saying? Because he's a culture. He's I think they say in he's a vagabond. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring up a list of. I didn't think about that. We was more so on the African, when they went down in Africa. But yeah, I definitely got that book and I read it before. So yeah.
Come on. This thing you got right here is right on it though, because them when they put them when Oliver Cromwell, the English white man, he gathered all them Negroes from Ireland and all that. He sent them on ships and they gathered down on they call it Sandtone. Yeah, that's the same one you got right there where it says South Tone. Same place. It's the same place. Yeah. It's just like different translations. San Thomas. Yeah. In English. Right. Okay. Sao Tome. It's different ways. Depending on if it's Portuguese or Spaniard or English, but it's all the same thing. Right. So the one book I was reading was saying that the black slaves from Europe will see the black slaves from Africa on the same island. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and then they had like destination ports of where they was gonna go to based on I don't know how they set it up, but that was what I was getting from the book. They came interacting with each other. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I was working in trucking, so they would have something called a bill of lading. So you have like bills that you have to go, like you have an order basically. So I was saying earlier before, like right before you got in here, what they would do is they have like a bill say I need 5 rice platters. Yeah. I need 5 sugar platters. Yep. And they'll just go and drop them off. They might go grab some of that rice to take because they all taking it back to Europe because the Europe is like big bucks to take it over here. Because too, they wanted a lot of like that cotton. Because if I a lot of that stuff I know too. I'm trying to find a way to link it into, but I know a lot of other Jewish people. They was into that the textile industry too. Yeah. So they was getting a lot of that stuff that was covering like the cotton going back to them. Like they funded a lot of the slave trade. A lot of people don't want to know. They don't know about that. Yeah. So they was funding a lot of it. God. All right, what you want to say on that, sir? That's it, man. I want to get this on the court. He talking about right here. Did we get page 116 in that book right there? Because that, everywhere. Harlem loved that 116. I bring that out in public. People stop and listen to that joint. We got, and I remember page 116 because in Harlem, there's a street called 116 Street where the Africans robbed the Negroes of that whole street. You see what I'm saying? So the brothers welcome the Africans in, like, yeah, we all from Africa. You see what I'm saying? And then you got to move uptown because the Africans done took it over. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Yeah, Malcolm X Market is all Hamites down there now. That's how Juneteenth is down here. Oh, say again? Juneteenth? Oh, yeah. We have Africans, so the Africans sold you over here, and now they selling you yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm not saying it's all Africans, but it's a nice amount. But the concept is still crazy. It is to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, we celebrating because they just know that no matter how they want to put it, they countries benefited off of the slavery off of it. To some degree. I think too. To some degree. Well, yeah, I think the whole degree. I think they, you know what I mean? They over there swimming in gold in them Igbo tribes and all them places because they sold out black asses, man. You see what I'm saying? So I will start right here at the top of page 116. All right. I just started right here. It is estimated that over 100,000 Jews departed Spain. But we know the Jews from the time of when we was dragged into Rome, the Romans dragged us into Rome. Yep, 7 AD. They had us fighting lions. They got all the black men on the pottery and the jars, wrestling lions and wrestling each other for sport. Right? Got up into Rome. got naturalized to Roman society, became citizens of that place like we do in America now. You know what I mean? To 193 AD, I think it was, or 212 AD, Negroes took over.
Yep.
And then
Septimius Severus,
Septimius Severus expanded the Roman Empire to Spain and Portugal and all these places, France, Germany, right? So later on now, it is estimated that over 100,000 Jews departed Spain and Portugal during the persecution and expulsion, right? Namely, one of the reasons is that we were not allowed to be Jews anymore. You know, right? We became something called as Hellenists. You know what I mean? Where you're not allowed, if you say you're a Jew, it's a crime. Like now, like you're not allowed to say you're an Israelite. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to do the Jew customs. You know, do the Sabbath, do a Passover. You know what I'm saying? King James was slick about it. He said, well, I'm not an Israelite, I'm a Jacobite. He had a shirt, he had a whole shirt that says Jacobite. You see what I'm saying? Not shirt, he had a picture frame. We put it on a shirt. Some of them here that was here. He made a King James shirt and it says Jacob was on there. You got one. Yeah, that was slick trying to say, I'm not saying I'm an Israelite, I'm saying I'm a Jacobite. You see what I'm saying? Right? Good, right? Some of these Jews went to Northern Europe, right? So we got them Russian icons. We went to Italy and Turkey, but most of them went to Muslim countries and Northern and Western Africa. These black, and it said we went to these places because we were being persecuted by a certain white power that was trying to get back into power, right? They had their own version of, nothing new under the sun, right? They had their own version of ICE coming in, immigration thing coming in. That wanted to, capture us and, detain us and do whatever they want to us and then send us to where they want us to go. All right. Right. These black Jews would naturally go to African countries, most of all because of less persecution, because they were not the white man. You see what I'm saying? And they could. So they thought. Yes, so they thought. So they still, you know what I mean? Still get some hell in Africa. There's another part over here where it said we became as warriors like David, fighting the Africans daily. I can't remember what page that was. If I go in my notes, I'll find it. Right? But because of less persecution, and they could disguise themselves easily among blacks, talking about the black Africans. You see what I'm saying? So what were we doing in Africa? We was hiding amongst other dark-skinned people. And that's in the book.
If I may too.
Yeah.
Like we know the difference between us and Africans.
Yeah.
But white people can never tell the difference between us and Africans.
I don't know about that. In New York, Hamites don't get pulled over. They don't get. You know what it is? It's the Lord. The Lord is saying, here's the evil nigga right here. It's like the sinner, right? Send it. See him. Focus on him. Curse him. Curse shall be in the field. Curse shall be in the city. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they know this. Maybe they don't know this, but I know the Lord notices, and the Lord is putting that curse on us. We get stopped and frisked in New York. Police come out the car, jump out. You walk. You mind your business. You at the bus stop, and white boys jump out of a Ford Taurus on you, man. You see what I'm saying? They're up against the wall. Like, what's going on? They walk up to you, think you're getting robbed. They here and there. It's kind of illegal, but they pick and choose to do that. They do that. You see what I'm saying? It's stop and frisk is illegal, but they go on in Harlem. They go on in Harlem at night. Wines that wear the mask. You know what I mean? They get results. You see what I'm saying? They catch one of the young brothers with a right. Can we say on YouTube?
A sewing machine.
Yeah, so with a sewing machine. You know what I'm saying? Catch it with a big needle. You see what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean? They get kind of validated within their system to do that. You know what I mean? But the Hamites don't get no stress, brother. None. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, they don't get no stress. You know what I mean? Definitely. So. All right. God.
You can go ahead, Radah. Children removed as policy.
Oh, God. Children were removed as policy. They say the Portuguese crown did not treat these children as ordinary migrants. They were taken from Jewish families, sent across the sea, and absorbed into an imperial project They used forced movement as a tool of discipline and Christianization.
Hold up now. This is crazy.
It's all like Native Americans too, right? Made that to Native Americans too.
Yeah. First of all, before you go into it, EOR, right? Did I dap you up? I don't know if I dapped you up already. Okay, let's make it sure. I mean, the man who calls himself Jewish today cannot relate to none of this. Why is that? You see what I'm saying? Like, why do they not relate to this? Why does their history don't say, yeah, we were sent from Sao Tome, you know what I mean, to these places, you know, for forced migration and discipline and Christianization? They don't say that, because this will be a Holocaust kind of thing right here. But you know, they don't have pain, or they don't feel pain for this part of history, because this part of history was not them. You see what I'm saying?
Also, I believe this went on longer than the Holocaust.
Yeah,
the Holocaust was only like 4 years.
Come on, man. Come on. I be asking it all the time. We about to have I'm trying to get a camp right where their neighborhood split our neighborhood in Brooklyn. And I got some sincere questions. You know, like, why don't y'all feel, you know, the same way about, you know, the Egyptians? You see what I'm saying? They got no qualms for the Egyptians. They do a Passover, but we the only ones saying F them Egyptians. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They not doing that. They got no qualms. Do you know what I mean by qualms? They got no beef with the Romans. You see what I'm saying? They wanna be accepted by other whites. You see what I mean? But all other whites were the Romans. You know what I mean? England, France, Germany, Spain. That was the Roman Empire, the white man we call them. You see what I'm saying? But they don't got no. They got the stories. They believe in the Maccabees because they do the Hanukkah, right? You know, they beef with the history said the beef with the Greeks and the Romans, but they don't got no beef with Greeks and Romans today. They only got beef for the Germans. So your sympathy is not adding up to your identity. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, well, they got beef with other people too. They just don't. They don't show it the same way. But like, you know, they hate the Russia, because you know Russia sacked the Khazar. It's along the same with Iran.
Say it again. Russia did what?
Russia and Iran Persia sacked the Khazarian Empire.
There you go. Because their beef is about the Khazarian Empire. Their beef is not about the Russians did this to us, you know, as Jews. Their thing is that the Russians did this to them as Khazars. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The sympathy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Even to this day, they want, because you know Zelensky is Jewish.
Yeah. He's
going to go against Russia because they made them in the programs they call them, in the Pale Settlement. They want to go after them for that. And then you got Iran, which I think Iran was the final nail in the coffin for the Khazarian Empire. I believe it was them. It was either them or Russia. I can't remember which one, but it was both of them significantly took their kingdom down. Yeah. And then they just kind of migrated into Rome, from what I can see of it.
Even that's heavy, because you know they got beef with the Iranians for that. They're not saying we got beef with the Iranians because you were the ancient Persian enemy. They'll throw it in there, you know, in a commercial, like the Persians did this, but you don't feel that pain, like you talking about the Holocaust, which is these ones coming up now, you know. These their younger generation, they didn't suffer the Holocaust of Germany. You see what I'm saying? But you know, they was taught to feel pain for that, but not taught to feel pain for the Persians. Them Persians did us horrible, man. You see what I'm saying? I think we died fighting for the Persians one time with the 300. You know what I'm saying? We lost the tribe of Dan fighting them 300 Spartans. You see what I'm saying? You don't hear them saying, "Oh yeah, we don't like Spartans now." We saying we don't like Spartans. We don't like nothing that look like them. None of that. You see what I'm saying? But they are not relating to that history, man. You know, just not fitting the bill. You see what I'm saying? So like, yo, my bad.
All right, you want to keep going?
Oh, it says this episode belongs to the same world as Portugal's anti-Jewish coercion at home, but it unfolded overseas on an island already becoming strategically important. The key word here is deportation, not resettlement by free choice. Why it matters: they entered a violent colonial setting. The children were separated from kin, forced into a new religious identity, and placed inside a colonial environment that will also be shaped by plantation labor and African enslavement. That is why this slide must be read carefully. These children were not architects of the system they entered. They were among its victims, even as Sao Tome itself became central to a much larger machinery of coercion. This is the moment where persecution in Iberia is carried directly into the Atlantic world.
So, like, if I may, right quick, is this a book or is this an article? It's like an online article.
Oh no! What I do is I put in all my notes in the tape, and I put it to AI to make a slideshow for me.
So AI made this?
So good.
That's crazy. It looks like a book.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, just all you gotta do is take all your notes that you take, all the articles you do. Because like sometimes when you do articles, it'll be kind of like you don't want to tell the same story, or because like you kind of correlate. You do that so it makes sense.
Oh, I've been working with you, man. I got about 500 bookmarks. You see what I'm saying? Of all kind of topics. You know what I mean? Word. You know what I mean? That's what? I thought you could sell that as a book. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. God.
That's how I do it. Just so, like I said, it makes it so you can tell a story better and all of that. So, all right. Okay. Let's see here. Mortality was here. So, and you see under this, or when they were there, the mortality was very severe. Like they were, it's almost like as bad as it was in Brazil. Brazil was like the worst slavery of all of the Americas, Brazil, and also here. So like the mortality rate was ridiculous. You want to say something?
Yeah, on that, you know what I mean? From the thing that I've been reading, all the African slaves went to Brazil. See what I'm saying? Whatever the millions it was, Brazil. 100,000 of those slaves that was going to Brazil went to the United States. Only 100,000. All the other Negroes was from Europe and Middle East or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Just like that.
You mean
so remember, the slaves was coming out of three places: Europe, the Middle East, and Africa.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah. They all gathered on Santon based on the wind rotation of the sea. Right? So there's like a port. There was like a place where the ships rest. You know, give the slaves some water, order some slop. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, you know, based on whatever the oppressor got going on, or whatever, you know, thing they set up, which might change here and there, right? They had destination ports for these slaves, right? Oliver Cromwell wanted all of the slaves from the British Crown, right, to go to places owned by Britain. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So they had dark Europeans. You look in the Russian icons, all those people, you know, their families. You see what I'm saying? They're the people from their neighborhood who are not in the pictures, right? They went through expulsion. That's the word, right? Which just means they deported them. You see what I'm saying?
ICE.
Yeah. They had ICE come and get them. You see what I'm saying? And then they sent them to this other place based on their own jurisdiction. You see what I'm saying? Place approved for them. Remember, the British was beefing these Spanish people at these times. Spanish, and I don't know how it went with the Portuguese, right? But they wasn't just sending. Go on, Lucky.
Oh, no, I was about to say they were all like they would have beef, but then they were all trying to colonize the Americas. It was like you know how like they were all racing to try to colonize, and they were trying to get what they call like the hegemony. Yeah. At this time, they were all fighting, trying to get whoever could get the best land here and all of that. Yeah. Then America eventually split off and made its own. But before that, they were all trying to set the hegemony of Europe, trying to who's gonna be the big dog of Europe, pretty much. Yeah. When they all was coming down.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? When it comes to this part of history, we shouldn't be acting like we all together. You know, the Portuguese had this part of Africa, but they came to the Americas. That's not the case. You see what I'm saying? The Portuguese that set up them ports in West Africa, them niggas went to the Portuguese places because that was their empire, Brazil. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that. You know what I mean? The English, right? They had their slaves that they rounded up, right? Going to their places. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The 13 colonies, and then it spread down, right? 13 colonies, and Jamaica and Barbados. Mm-hmm. I believe it was first Barbados because they never had Jamaica yet. The Spaniards had Jamaica, and then England fought the Spaniards, took over Jamaica, and then got their own slaves. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? And then when the Spaniards had Jamaica, they didn't, from what I read, they didn't import no slaves. They just enslaved the so-called Puerto Ricans that was there. The Taino Indians, whatever they call them. They call them Taino. The Taino don't call themselves Taino. Right? They call themselves Boricua or something like that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But the Spaniard was calling them Taino. And they was in Jamaica.
But another thing I saw in Puerto Rico. Yeah. They ran when they came in. They came into to the land into Puerto Rico. They were fighting them, and then when they couldn't fight them, they ended up running to the hills, like the mountains or whatever. They would stand on top of there because
the Puerto Ricans on the hills.
Yeah, the real Puerto Ricans. Yeah. On top of the hills. Yep. And I seen them. I watched somewhere on YouTube. They went up there to where those older villagers at. You couldn't even tell them apart between like me and you. Yeah, you can't even tell them apart. Like they look identical to us. God. So I was just saying, like that's how you know we are brothers. You start seeing they look identical to us.
Another story. Captain Kaza brought this out in a book one time when I was a trooper. About the Seminole Indians. You see what I'm saying? The Seminole Indians, they to this day, according to America today, they're still at war with them because they technically didn't lose yet. You see what I'm saying? They try to make a deal and then rip them off with the Trail of Tears and all that. But technically, the country's still at war with these Seminole Indians, right? The Seminole Indians in Florida, they saw Negroes coming off the ships, and he was like, "Hold on, wait, they look like us. That's our cousins, right?" That's what they said. They said that's our cousins. And then they fought the white men as they unloaded the ship and freed the Negroes. Yeah, man.
I believe it. What I mean? I believe it because I just know, like the book Black Indians tell a whole lot of history about our relationship with the Native Americans. Black Indians.
I think that was one of the books that he pulled it.
Probably is. I never read the whole. I got like halfway through it and then got busy. But it tells a lot. That's how you know, like the slave trade from Africa really didn't start until like the 1600s. Yeah, it was like from Europe to Americas, mostly from that time. All right, let's see here. Let's go to sugar makes the island strategic.
Oh, okay. Sugar makes the island strategic. Sugar was not just another colonial product. It required land clearance, milling, transport, and constant supervision. Once cultivation expanded, Sao Tome could generate wealth far beyond what a remote island location might suggest. The plantation model demanded discipline, controllable labor, which is why sugar quickly aligned with coercion. The island's rise as a sugar producer was inseparable from the violent exploitation of enslaved Africans. That combination made Sao Tome an early Atlantic laboratory. It helped Portugal test a system in which crops, commerce, forced migration, and racialized bondage could be organized for imperial gain.
See that what I said earlier, white men, they gotta test out their slavery first, their oppression.
Right.
They tested it out there, then brought it over here to America. Let's see where. Try to see if we can skip any of this. All right, go to Africans were enslaved to build the colony. Go to that.
Oh, okay. Africans were enslaved to build the colony. Enslaved Africans were the colony's labor backbone. It say the island's wealth depended on Africans brought under coercion, not on the small number of officials, settlers, or merchants who claimed authority over it. They cleared land, sustained cultivation, and supplied the labor without which plantation production would have failed.
But we notice now, it's like we notice now they can call them Africans now. Then we just read that they brought Jewish children here.
Yep.
Right?
Oh my God.
That they made them be forced enslaved. Now they changed to Africans.
Right.
Y'all notice that?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Keep going.
Gotta work hard. That is why slavery was not a side feature of the colony. It was the central mechanism that converted Sao Tome from imperial possession into an operating plantation society. Work, violence, and extraction were fused together. Enslaved Africans were forced into the hardest and most dangerous tasks: agricultural labor, transport, processing, and the daily maintenance of a colonial economy designed for export and profit. The success of sugar, therefore, cannot be told as an agricultural story alone. It was a story of organized violence, racialized bondage, and wealth extracted from people denied freedom.
All right, go to the next one. Go next slide.
Kalawakan. Resistance, flight, and revolt. Flight, maroonage, and survival. Resistance did not begin only in dramatic battles. Enslaved Africans fled plantations, formed fugitive communities, disrupted work, and used the island's terrain to challenge surveillance and control. These acts mattered because plantation systems depended on obedience, routine, and fear. Every escape, slowdown, or refusal exposed the fragility of colonial power. Revolt made the system visible.
Read it. What did it say about colonial power?
It said these acts mattered because plantation systems depended on obedience, routine, and fear.
Mm-hmm.
Every escape, slowdown, or refusal exposed the fragility of colonial power.
And that's key right there too. What I'm saying is, the information is not going to give us this, right? But if we were to resist their religion, right, and try to try to hold us away from the Bible, we could read everything else but the Bible. But if we were to turn to that Bible and obey it, if we had the knowledge of it, read it, the Lord kept us away from the knowledge. But if we were to try to turn back to our God, you see what I'm saying? The Lord would have helped us. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
it might have been tricky. I don't have the right information to know at what time did they, take our identity off of us. I know it wasn't immediate, but I knew they was trying to force us into this Christianity when we was there. You know what I mean? The Christianity made us obedient, like how we are right now in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying?
But so you notice they pick the children. The children are a lot more easy to make obedient.
Right.
You notice that, and they still have revolts. So a lot of the times they had to go. I read somewhere, I talked about it before in the class. They had to go find, like, they literally had to go get somebody to teach them, like he was like a German or whatever.
Yeah.
He had to go and teach the slave owners how to strip away our culture to make us better slaves. It was, I think it was, a pretty sure it was a German. They had to go hire. They hired him from Germany to teach us how to teach the slave owners how to be better slave owners. And they said the first thing I do, he said they're going around remembering their history. You got to make it so they can't remember their history, because you got to remember too, these people that they have, like, don't think about them as being countries for this time. Think about them as being companies. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Think about like you said before, sir. Like you said, like Spain and Portugal, that might have been one. That's Apple. You know what I'm saying? Think about what's the other ones you said?
So it's England.
England. That's Google.
Okay.
They all might use a similar consultant, but they competing with each other at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
That's very key. You said that because Commander Johanna, he was on the Black Rock radio show about 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, and he was saying, you know, to don't be discouraged if you see, you know, not a crazy population in the UK, because countries was made by a few amount of men in a room, the way how we sit in a room with a few amount of men. You see what I'm saying? The few amount of men in a room, based on some circumstances or some uprising or whatever they lead or something like that, they become the government of the new country. And then the population that just obey what you say now. You see what I mean? That's how it goes. You see what I'm saying? And then the population don't know the rules until you lock them up. And they say, oh, you didn't know it says thou shalt not covet. You see what I'm saying? He get locked up for coveting. You see what I'm saying? He dragged to a council for gossiping. I didn't know I couldn't gossip. Yeah, we're not in America anymore. We're not in the Israelite country now. You know what I'm saying? Gossiping is illegal. You see what I'm saying? You're a council. Now you owe $50 or something. You know what I mean? For gossiping, fine. It's a fine. You know what I mean? Just like that. Slocky, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Did you read The Revolt Made the System Visible?
I can read it now, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
Revolt made the system visible. Sao Tome is especially remembered for major revolt. Most famous.
Before you get too far, I think you read a while ago about the other revolts and all that, right? And I said their system was fragile. You know what I mean? You know, it's the same with how today, based on how they raised us up as children, we think of America as invincible, straight up. You see what I'm saying? We thought of Egypt as invincible, and Donald Trump believes it too. He thinks America's invincible too. Like, damn, how the hell is Iran giving up resistance?
You can't comprehend.
Yeah, he can't. This ain't making no sense. You see what I'm saying? We're trying to make a deal. They can't have no nuclear weapons. I'm positive in what do you say, 3 weeks or something like that. 3 weeks, they're gonna own the country. You know what I mean? We're gonna make a deal. They're not gonna. They can't have no nuclear weapons and this and that. They're gonna fold, and Iran ain't folding. Iran don't believe America is not invincible. They don't believe that. They see what's going on here. They watch the George Floyd thing. They watch the COVID thing. They seen all the other revolts down the history. They got this history because they're not idiots. They're men with minds too. You see what I'm saying? They men who go to college and be educated too. You see what I'm saying? Got a healthcare system too. So they can research things and come with their own opinion. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why, like, I think too, a lot of them is reaching out to like different American podcasters here because that's actually controlling, because nobody believes the mainstream media no more.
Yeah.
So they going, so everybody, they listening to that. So right now, Iran isn't going to do anything to attack America. What they gonna do, they gonna make America bleed from the inside. They gonna make the economy go to crap. So then now everybody go complain. So what they But I think they're holding out for. I'm just a side note, but I think they're holding out for. They holding out for midterm elections. I think they're just trying to last it to the end because Americans is pissed off by the rise in price of everything right now.
Yeah.
So they're thinking that they're gonna be able to do something to Trump and everybody else with the midterm. That's what I think. They try. That's what I think personally. I think they're trying to hold off until midterm elections because they know, something about the, something might shake. Because Americans pissed off. Because he said no more wars and what's happening.
Right.
Big behind.
Yeah. Bigger wars.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So they pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh, so much you gotta say something? Are you good or you want to keep reading?
We'll keep reading.
Yeah, keep on.
So, revolt made the system visible. Sao Tome is especially remembered for major revolt, most famously the uprising associated with Amador in the late 16th century. That rebellion showed that plantation violence could produce organized African counterviolence. The revolt did not merely resist one master or one estate. It challenged the legitimacy of the colonial order itself and remains central to the island's historical memory. Rebellion forced the empire to reveal how much violence was required to keep the plantation world intact.
So I just show you they had to do this with violence. So let's try to hurry up go to Equiano. We should be able to
Okay.
So what did they do with violence?
Oh, it was showing they had to pretty much force their rule by violence. That's what that's basically they seen that in Sao Tome. That's why we noticed in Brazil the violence was so bad in Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew about that or not.
No,
but the violence was extremely, like America's was bad, but in Portugal it was even worse. But they did, well, not Portugal, but in Brazil, I think they said the average the average livelihood they had for the slaves in Portugal was 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad in Portugal.
Damn. I know there's a part about the in this book right here where it talks about General Turbo. Right, I wanted to see if I could find that part. Page 85. Let me go to page 85 right quick in Babylon Timbuktu, right? Of how they get this violence on even today. You see what I'm saying? Because they gotta not look like they're the violent ones. Yeah, even with Iran, they gotta make it seem like, see, the Iranians are doing this and the Iranians are doing that. There's an African in Texas with Allah on his shirt doing a shootout. See, we gotta get the Iranians. You see what I'm saying? Under Roman suzerainty, which means Roman sees them, right? Under Roman suzerainty and power, the Jews of Asia and North Africa rebelled. 11 AD. The Jews considered themselves numerous enough to challenge Roman authority in the east and the south. Because of their numbers, the Jews, we're the Jews, right? The Jews almost subdued their adversaries because they didn't believe, because we got history, right? We know who we are, so we know that we can resist them. We know that they are fallible. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But we're not putting the Lord into the equation about the end result. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Because of their numbers, the Jews almost subdued their adversaries who had compelled them to suffer many atrocities and indignities. Emperor Trajan sent his general called Turbo to bring law and order. Law and order, that's a very key term. If you look at politics today and they talk about law and order, that just means oppress the blacks. That's all that means. Find a way to put more drugs on the radio so they can sell drugs to oppress you, to lock you up. Put more violence on TV or put more violence where you're going to watch TV and listen to music so they can lock you up. Law and order, right? Donald Trump was supposed to be one of them law and order presidents. You see what I'm saying? But and then Kamala Harris was trying to say, no, I'm the attorney general from California. I'm more law and order than you. In other words, they're fighting over who's going to oppress Black Americans harder. You know what I mean? Instead of bringing law and order, the act of suppression of the insurrection brought a massacre, which is what is going on here. So they're doing the same thing. These guys, they're doing the same thing in different generations. You know what I mean? Is it reincarnation? I don't know. But they're the same damn people. You see what I'm saying? Doing the same old tactic, thinking the same old way, but doing it in another language now. You know what I mean? Good. The suppression of rebellion under the slogan of law and order may be good in principle, but a good thing may be carried too far. All right. Okay. I'll probably leave it there, right?
Okay. We can go to Equiano and try to wrap this thing up. I just want to talk a little bit about Equiano and what you noticed.
The Equiano, a new witness. Who was Equiano?
I might the next class need to do a little bit on him. I might need to do a class on
Equiano.
Yeah, you know about Equiano?
I've never heard of him.
Okay. He's gonna go over briefly the one of the things he saw.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sir. Who was Equiano? Aluda Equiano was an African writer and former enslaved man who published narrative, became one of the best known first-person accounts of slavery, displacement, and Atlantic travel in the late 18th century. Why does his narrative matter? His account gives us a witness shaped by captivity, movement, fear, memory, and close observation. That makes it powerful, but it also means we must read his descriptions carefully and
that's the white man talking on that part. But go to the next slide and go to what Equiano notices.
Okay, what Equiano notices. The passage draws attention to bodily difference, including
so Equiano. Let's get a little history. He was like formerly enslaved. He got free, and he was like traveling to different lands and stuff like that. And he went to a place in Africa. I forget which one, and he noticed what they were doing.
So where did he base from? Where was he from?
I can't remember, so that's why I got to do it. I read it before, but I can't recall.
Okay, no sweat.
I can't recall on the top of my head. But I just wanted to bring out this little part of it I got from Officer Dongabar over there in the UK.
Oh yeah,
that's the guy right there.
Yep. Ain't surprised when you say his name. You know what I mean?
You could. Can you read that for me, Brother Shaw?
Con.
You can start from that first paragraph.
Okay, con. All the nations and people I had hitherto passed through resembled our own in their manners, customs, and language. But I came at length to a country, the inhabitants of which differed from us in all those particulars.
So you went to different places. I think, if I remember correctly, I could do a quick search. But let me find out.
You keep reading until you get
it? Yeah, you keep reading.
I was very much struck with this difference, especially when I came among a people who did not circumcise and ate without washing their hands. Damn. It must be Africa.
Yes, it is. Come.
They cooked also in iron pots and had European cutlasses and crossbows, which were unknown to us, and fought with their fists among themselves. Their women were not so modest as ours, for they ate and drank and slept with their men. But above all, I was amazed to see no sacrifices or offerings among them.
So this is where you went. So he went to basically where he was Africa early life. That was probably before he became a slave. Then he became a slave in the Caribbean.
Oh man.
Then he went to North America. Then he went to Britain, which we still have black people there. Because then they said that one thing, you don't want America, you don't want America to be black like Europe.
Yeah, that was What's his name? Not Thomas Jefferson.
It was one of them. I can't remember who, but he didn't want to be black because remember they was black.
Yeah,
like a lot of the European countries was black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Britain was like I said, that was in all in those areas they were black. He said especially in London. Like we had black people all in London. This before the Africans started coming over there now, right?
Right.
So and he explored Europe and he went back to Africa and he's talking about what he saw with those Africans.
Oh, it's like
What you talking, sir? There you go. If you look at him now.
I was trying to find Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah.
Okay.
God. Okay, so keep reading here.
Yeah, go down.
God.
What?
On the ball. The women were also not so. Okay, hold on.
Maybe they wear modest. What do African women dress like now?
Yeah. They're not modest, meaning they walk with their titties out. Right? They just wear a skirt or something like that.
But to show you how professional, sir, our women were as modest as ours.
Right. The language is gonna throw you off. If they was naked, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, right. It's on YouTube. I'll see if I can find it again. He says about the Taino village. I'll see. You can look up. I forgot. Like I done looked up so many things over these years I've been in school. Man, I can't remember where I found it at, but I was watching it. I'll see if I can locate it again. All right. All right, go ahead.
Okay, come on. But above all, I was amazed to see no sacrifices or offerings among them. In some of those places, the people ornamented themselves with scars. Oh man, I seen those in documentaries, man. They ornament them. It's like a decoration. It's a decoration.
They
decorated themselves with scars. That's crazy.
I'm surprised they didn't decorate themselves with flies too.
Oh man, that's crazy. And likewise filled their teeth very sharp.
Yep.
Filed their teeth very sharp. That's crazy.
Yep.
They wanted sometimes to ornament me in the same manner. Good night. But I would not suffer them. But there's a stranger like, yeah, let me decorate you too. Here's a knife to your face. Put a scar on your face. Like, damn, crazy.
These are real Africans.
You know what I mean?
But they call him an African, right?
They call it. Hey, what's going on, man? Brother in New York. Hold on. I'm in class right now. Hold on. No sweat. Right. Come on. We're in history class in Atlanta, Abaji, all right? Okay, no sweat.
We wrapping up. No, we wrapping up now. I started late.
Yeah.
We had some issues. We wrapping up now.
Yeah. No sweat. Big up Abaji in New York, man. Abaji and Bayan Allah in New York, man.
All right.
Definitely, man. Come on. That's right. You know what I mean? Hey, shalom, you doctor. Con. Right, they filed their teeth down. They con. Stuck in Red Eye, you good?
Oh yeah, come on. I was just saluting Officer about you.
Oh, definitely, man. Con. They wanted sometimes to ornament me in the same manner, but I would not suffer them, hoping that I might sometime be among a people who did not thus disfigure themselves, as I thought they did. At last I came to the banks of a large river, which was covered with canoes, in which the people appeared to live with their household utensils and provisions of all kinds. I was beyond measure astonished at this, as I had never before seen any large water than a pond or a rivulet. And my surprise was mingled with no small fear when I was put into one of those canoes and we begin to paddle and move along the river. Okay.
So that's his account when he came up amongst the Africans.
That's Equiano.
Yes, Equiano.
Okay. Okay.
So you might do a class on him because he has a very telling history about when he got captured in Africa, then he became a slave, and then getting free and going he been traveling, all over. So
what book was that?
I think it's like his diary. I'll find out. I get it from Officer Dagobah.
Yeah, you got me kind of inquisitive about what's going on in that story there. I don't know if you can go back to the part where he had the countries. He was here.
That was just ChatGPT.
Okay, so where you start from?
Africa.
You start from Africa.
And Nigeria. Nigeria.
Right.
Caribbean, Barbados.
Then they sent it to the Caribbean.
Barbados, St. Kitts.
St. Kitts.
United States.
To Virginia, Georgia.
With mainly a maritime trade.
So he passed through right here in Georgia. Good night.
Then he went to Britain.
Then they sent him to London. Damn.
He gained freedom there, became active in the abolitionist movement, published the autobiography in the Arctic.
And then they sent him towards the North Pole. That's kind of crazy.
He went to Greenland and by Greenland and Canada.
Travel to Arctic. Why? With a British expedition. Okay, so these British people are explorers.
He will travel.
Yeah, because he was free.
Yeah, he was free now.
And so they have an expedition, and I guess they want someone strong who was a slave. Right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he rolled with them into the Arctic.
He went to Spain and Portugal.
Right.
Two places we got sent from.
Yeah.
Because remember he said he went to all these places and he said he seen black people similar to him. And he went to Africa. What the hell?
Yeah, right. The black people in Africa were not similar to him.
He went back to return to Africa, Sierra Leone.
Okay.
So he, in efforts to relate it to resettlement of free black people. So.
Okay.
So, anybody got any questions? Unless you have something you want to say to wrap it up.
I'm good. Man.
Good, sir. Anybody got any questions at all? Comments, concerns?
Oh, definitely, man. Wherever we all can, right? We should let people know that in the UPK, this is where you can find true history of our people before slavery. A lot of people. I was one of those brothers. Who was, had big questions about who the hell we were and how we got to where we are now. And there was no answers
at all.
You know what I mean? You go into all the African people, the African loving brothers who love Africa, love Kemet, and they don't got none of this information here.
No.
None of that. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why. I don't know if they see it and just ignore it. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they don't got access to the books. Maybe they're lazy with the books. But the UPK is the place that always, from everybody, from Captain Zarya, from Commander Johanna, they was always pushing true history of our people, what we do in Africa. You know what I mean? What we got here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we need some kind of commercial or something. I think that'd be good if we had like a commercial for people in Atlanta, like to let them know, the true history is here. We can do it year by year, century by century, right? You can get the history in the UPK. We're on Decatur, 335 State Montgomery Road. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's kind of sad that they don't know. You know what I mean?
They have no idea, and it's not all the way their fault because, like, you see how they changed it to now they're African.
Mm-hmm.
They changed what you are, so now you can't trace back that lineage of how you got there. They'll say something. That's why the key part of knowing the names of the place that they went to, you got to find the exact name.
Yeah.
And then do a search on that name. Then you get to find they was taking slaves from that area.
That's a key thing right there.
That's how you got to find it out. You can't just look up how Jews were Jews taken from Africa to America. You won't find it.
Right.
You have to look up where did the Jews go when they went to Africa? Mm-hmm. Where were Jewish villages in Africa? Where were Jewish days in Africa?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go and say, okay, where did they take people from Africa over here? Then you start seeing the correlation of those places.
Right.
You'll see all of them. The Niger River had people that was doing all of the Torah on the Niger River.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the main places they took people from all along. Because the Niger River goes all the way up through Nigeria, it goes like north. I can't remember all the country.
Yeah.
But it goes north of there. It's like a long river.
Right.
And we were along the river.
Yeah.
They came and got us from there. I even did a class one time before. I gotta find it. There's still like remnants of people that's over there that don't get along with the government, that come from the villages they stole the slaves from.
Yeah.
They still don't get along with the government.
Come.
So that whole thing, like Nathaniel, they want to go over there and Nathaniel want to go over there and get all the Africans.
Right.
There's a sliver of them possibly that's us. But he trying to get all of them.
I don't think he's going to the places where Israelites are, because we got the school approved two persons from Africa in the school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with a sister, one sister is from the Awe tribe. I've never heard of the Awe tribe. Remember, when it comes to the heathens' names are big and famous. The Israelites are the bottom of society, which is what you're saying. They got to fight against the government, so they're at the bottom of society. Yep. A lot of them don't speak They don't speak no English, no Spanish, none of that, because they from the old slave masters from their time, right? You I know we go on them the slave ship websites. And they'll name some tribe that we just flat out never heard of. Yep. None of that Igbo crap, none of that Igbo Ashanti. That ain't the Israelites. See what I'm saying? They were the rulers. That's why their name is big. Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You're absolutely right. That's how you get so you can find it. Like, I still want to look up that one I sent you before. They had names of that one tribe that sounded like Aquatian.
Yeah, I remember you saying about that.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to look that one up. It's a tribe that was in Africa. That's a name. They spelled it, of course, differently than we do, but you say it looks like it says Akium and Aquatium.
There's a brother in South Africa, right? Who's in the school, Officer Yeshaya, right? He was putting us on game. Like the slaves in that was brought down to South Africa, they got English last names, and their last names is the month they was imported to South Africa. Yeah, so his last name is August. Straight up, his last name is August. He's like, we got the August family, and then he named the September family and the Octobers. So like, I
gotta talk to you about that.
Because he never heard that.
He did.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Once you learn, like you said, once you learn them names, now you can go and find it. That's how they hide it from you. Is by they keep them names from you. Now you can go look up now you got that little piece of information there.
Yeah.
You can now correlate it to everything else.
Yeah.
Because it's all out there. You just don't know where to go look for it at. So once you find those terms out, it's over with.
Yeah, their last name is September and October.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You see what I'm saying?
I gotta find a name January.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's their names. October. October. You know what I mean? It was a certain amount of months, but it was based on the wind and sea patterns where the ships could come in. Yeah, so there's like a limited amount of names because it was only the months that they came in. It was like October, September, and October. Something like that. I got to run over him with it again.
Yeah, I want to be in that conference. I got to find this. I got to hear this.
But he showed me something on YouTube though. I'm like, nothing ever told me to look at this shit on YouTube right here. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna find it.
I mean? Yeah, man.
Salaki. So, I guess we close it out.
Yeah, man.
All right, Salaki. With that, we pass the class over to Priest Robinson 500, Mawasar.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow, this about to be a podcast in a minute.
You're right. Yeah.
ISUPK security announcements. You are at ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Arlen, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10 in the Hebrew, my Aisha. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you gets to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, 3 will offerings for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever not, you will like. Upcoming holy convocations. Right now, we're in the Feast of First Fruits. You might Akim and Aqua take the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, you get one courtesy salute to the men of Israel, Amadu, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Barakatah. English translate from Hebrew to English is Lord, bless you in the name of Christ. Y'all on the top, hands down. Give my courtesy salute to the sisters online. Now there's Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmad, Barak, Yahweh. And what we said translated from Hebrew to English is Lord, watch over you in the name of Christ. Y'all on the top, hands down. Class is minutes.
How can I get that thing? Because he was reading from that thing too, right?
That's what you.
The thing he was reading, the migration. You sent it to me? Yeah, send it to me, right? God.